Appreciate my teammates, my coaches for still believing in me and letting me do what I do.
That first tackle, was that kind of the moment? It's like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
finally like kind of back in the role.
Yeah, no, I needed that. I needed that for me personally, man. It was just, I mean, I felt like that was a lot of hard work that I put into, and just being able to have that moment again and feeling that adrenaline rush again, man, it speaks volume. It speaks volume.
Did it feel natural?
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. Getting back, it felt good. I was prepared. I was ready for the moment.
Gentry, not just getting back out on the field, but I think you played twice as many snaps Saturday as you did last season. How good does that feel after everything you've been through?
Feels great, to be able to build on something. That's my starting point from now on, and just continue to do the steps that I did to, perform on Saturday. I think I had a great week of preparation beforehand, and I got to do an even better job because every week is going to get harder, with each opponent.
The physicality of Michigan, is that something you guys are recovering pretty hard for this week?
Yeah, Michigan, they got a championship culture, 2 years removed from being in the college football playoff. They know what it takes. They're a physical team. That's kind of what the Big Ten is based on. So we're preparing for that. We know what the challenge has ahead of us, but great week of preparation will get us ready.
What kind of stands out about Bryce Underwood so far? A little bit you got to see about him.
Bigger dude, great arm. I think he showed a lot of, great flashes of what he could be, for that team across the future. I think they did a lot of good things with their offenses and everything, and shoot, I think they got a bright future with him.
You guys always, Brent Venables' defense always is complicated, and throws a bunch of looks and can confuse even veteran quarterbacks. Does the thought of playing a true freshman, does that give you some hope that you can confuse him and sort of disorient him a little bit?
I would say, you just got to see it as, you playing Michigan as a whole. That's a good program they got going on. So if that's the best quarterback they got there to go out there, then he's going to be prepared. He's going to be prepared like a senior. So we got to prepare like, he's a Super Bowl quarterback, and that's what we're going to do every single day.
Speaking of, it kind of seems like Cortland's kind of the same way for you guys, prepared as a freshman. How awesome was it to see him on Saturday?
Man, Ford's been amazing. It speaks levels to his preparation, how he's came in, he's prepared. He wants to get better. He takes every detail, and he's wide open. He listens, man. I'm so proud of him and everything he's doing. And not just him, Day-Day, Jordan, Jeremiah Newcomb, they got in there, and they played meaningful snaps and did great as well. So I'm proud of everybody.
What's the energy like in the locker room, knowing how big of a game this is this early in the season?
Obviously we got to take it week by week, prepare. We understand what's at stake, but we understand what's at stake every week when you're at OU. Every team's you're gonna get everybody's best shot. We got Illinois State's best shot, and we're gonna get Michigan's best shot. So we got to prepare the exact same.
It would seem like John Mateer's personality is that he seeks out playing in games like this. Does it give you confidence as a defensive guy? Like, if you guys go out and make a big stop, that he has a pretty good chance of making good on it, especially after throwing for 400.
Most definitely. He came out there, he balled out. That we're proud of him. We thankful for having an offense like that. But if John, he speak highly of the offense. He's getting them ready. We're gonna get our defense ready to go. We're gonna play. We're gonna need everybody for all 4 quarters.
SEC, Big Ten have developed quite the rivalry, taking over college football. You see this as an SEC Big Ten showdown? Want to fly the SEC flag?
Most definitely. It's going to be a physical game. We know what the Big Ten brings, and they know what the SEC brings. We're going to get ready. We're going to prepare hard, but everything's going to come out on Saturday.
How much more prepared is this defense this year than maybe in the last couple of years to play against play in a matchup like this?
I would say just overall, we've been playing together for so long. Like, you see Kobe making plays, you see R. Mason making plays, you see RJ making plays, you see Kip Lewis, 4-year guys who've been playing together to understand the system at a high level. Every year we got to break it down back to the studs, but people don't understand and picking up that information at a faster level, and that's helping us. We're playing fast, we're communicating, and that's got to get better each week. But just the baseline of that, I felt like was at a higher level this year. But we got to continue to get better.
The depth part of that too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All that helps. The young guys, they're hungry, man. Like, you look at a dude like Jaden Jackson, he was ready to go the day he got here. David Stone getting better. Shoot, list goes on. Marcus Strong, D-lineman. Edge rush. I think Taylor Warren got his first sack. So everybody's prepared. We just got to continue to build off of that.
You talked about just how long you guys have been here and brought up the 22 class. Can you kind of expound on the 22 class and what it's just as far as
Yeah.
leadership goes on this team?
Everything, you know, we've seen the best, we've seen the lows, and just to continue to get better. You know, put your head down, just work. Everything will work out. We just continue to work, and I think that's been our mindset. And you're seeing like dudes like Kobe McKenzie, who's been through the lows, but now he's starting to step up, and he knows the defense like the back of his hand. Kip Lewis making plays all over the field. Owen Heineke, who's been here from the beginning. RJ, like I said, and even Peyton Bowen, I feel like he's stepping up playing his best ball right now. So just people that have been here and understand the struggles that we've been going to and understand what it takes to play at a high level.
What's it been like having a guy as big as Kendall Daniels kind of roaming around back there with you guys?
And a lot like him. But, you know, me and Kendall, we go way back. You know, me and him actually took our first visit to OU together. So just having this moment of playing together and seeing him ball out, you know, it was a dream for us at a point in time, and to seeing us living out his reality, man, I couldn't be more happy days on our side now.
That's a big cheetah.
Big everything.
do you see him as kind of that perfect fit for the cheetah with, you know, the Isaiah Simmons, Roy Williams?
Yeah.
Fight that's
I think however we're using him has been perfect. You know, I think he's physical, he can cover, he's doing everything at a high level, and he's taking the information that Coach V's giving him and applying it to the field early. You know, you don't see a lot of transfers be able to take that information and play at a high level, and he's doing that, man. I'm proud of him.
How much does he help going against a team like Michigan that's known for being physical?
Man, he helps, man. Definitely. You know, he's physical, he's big, he understands what it's going to take. You know, he's played in big games before, so I think having Kendall, you can't go wrong with him on the field.
Old guys